Ryan is in another title eliminator. Do you think he's waiting Devin Haney out to move up to 140 so he can capture the belt that way to become a champion? You think that's his plan?
Well, I mean, by all indications, it seems that he's waiting for something. He doesn't see Devin as an opponent that he wants to challenge, right? He says everything but let's fight. They always put opponents. You see what he did then. He says that, he'll continue to fight guys that he hasn't even fought yet. He said he'll continue to fight Fortuna, Tank Davis, and Teofimo Lopez, and you haven't even fought them. So what do you mean? You don't have the fights been negotiated, mandated, or anything. So he's going into this fight, and he's going into this fight already saying to the people that he's not going to fight Devin. So what does that tell you? You don't have nowhere where Devin is saying that he won't fight these guys. You don't see him making up excuses, right? We don't say that the guy ain't worthy. We know this is boxing, and you fight the fighters that's available for you to fight. The highest ranked fighter that you can get and negotiate to get in the ring. They don't negotiate for Devin. They don't want Devin. It's something that Devin brings to the table that we're going to continue to. And like Devin always says, as time goes on, it's only going to get worse because he's only going to get stronger and he's only going to get better. You guys, on May 29th, it will be the best Devin Haney. You'll see the best one. You haven't seen the best one yet.
Andre Ward came out and said that Ryan should not get a pass for calling out Tank the way he did and then pulling out to fight someone else. What do you think the best way to hold a fighter like Ryan responsible for trolling Mike Tyson, the fans, and everybody in general?
Well, I think that what we need to do is respect Ryan as what he is and who he is as a YouTube fighter, right? He's a YouTube fighter that has a strong social media presence. If we're going to respect the other guys, we have to put Ryan with the Jake Pauls and the Logan Paul and put him in that group and know that what he'll do is he'll bring, hopefully, God willing, he'll bring young kids to the fight game like the Pauls are doing. But when you talk about really getting it in and being mentioned amongst the greats of the game later on, he's not seeking that. He's not going for that because you never put down an opponent that you feel like you can dominate. If he felt that he could dominate there, then he wouldn't down him. The reason why we always put these guys up is because we feel that, we're going to go in there and dominate them. We don't just dance around the question to say that they're not ready or they're not worthy or none of that BS, so give Queen Ryan Garcia official YouTube belt because he doesn't want a belt in boxing. He doesn't want the WBC belt. He doesn't want that. He don't care about that belt. So make up a YouTube belt and give that. And see if he like that. Or an Instagram belt. Give him an Instagram belt. Give him an Instagram belt. So that's what, okay, cool. So we're gonna make him the undisputed. We're gonna give him the Instagram belt, the YouTube belt, the Twitter belt, and the TikTok belt. We're gonna give him all 4 belts to make him undisputed.
The undisputed social media champion.
Absolutely, King. Absolutely.
I mean, by his response, it sounds like he don't see himself beating Devin. He admitted. I mean, he said Devin is his toughest fight. That's why he's saving him last. I think it was better off him telling the truth than, coming out and trying to downplay Devin, who's ranked higher than him, who's the champion, when Ryan is just fighting for another title eliminator for Devin Haney belt.
Well, so we out of East Oakland, California, man. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't grow up like that. I mean, you can tell that, the soft shit that he's saying, the soft shit that his daddy is saying, you know what I mean? That's just them. And I think Oscar sees that in them. I know that Eddie Reynoso sees that in them. You got Canelo, who comes out of that Guadalajara, Mexico, you know what I mean? Rough and tough with the business, right? Then you talk about Ryan Garcia, and his dad. They great guys, but they're not just with it. They're not just with this stand up to the challenge shit. They're ducking, they're avoiding, they're saying all the things that you shouldn't say if you're trying to really make a fight. If you're going to really make a fight with some big money involved, right? You're saying all the wrong shit. I think that they did a great job with him. They just did not raise, Mr. Garcia. He didn't raise a fighter. He raised a YouTube guy, a YouTube personality, actor, or maybe he's a musician or something. Maybe he starts singing or something. I don't know.
So if
he's doing everything but fighting.
Ryan nickname is King. So
Ryan's
what do you
nickname
see
is
as,
Queen. Ryan's nickname is Queen Lion Garcia.
is Ryan and Tio what's wrong with boxing today by them refusing to fight the best? Are they the reason why YouTubers are making a killing, such as like Logan Paul, Jake Paul? That the fact that guys like Ryan will troll Mike and the fans instead of fighting the best.
No, nothing is wrong with boxing. Boxing is doing just fine. We've never complained about money that we were getting. We've never complained about anything. If you're dedicated to this sport, then you know the stages and the levels of development, and you know that your time is coming. You don't have to do the extra antics and all this other stuff. You don't have to down the other fighters to build yourself up. If you really with the business, then you want to fight the other guy. And you let the people say how great the guy is and how good the guy is, and then you fight him. Teofimo Lopez and his dad, they're a bunch of contradictions. They contradict themselves on numerous occasions in terms of what they want to do and who they want to fight. You know, the latest one is that Ryan wants to fight Tio, or Tio is going to want to fight Ryan, right? But you'll see how many people call Devin's name after we get through smashing Linares.
But Ryan don't have a belt, so why will Tio be looking to fight him if Ryan doesn't bring anything to the table?
Well, Cambosos didn't bring nothing to the table, and he chose Cambosos, right? Cambosos talks about the resume that he had, and he's never fought nobody. He arguably lost his last fight. So while he was talking the bullshit that he was talking, and instead of concentrating on Teofimo Lopez, he's still mentioning Devin, right? He had a split decision, that back-to-back split decisions.
Do you think the Luke Campbell knockdown set him back to reality? Since Luke was not a puncher, it kind of woke up Ryan back to reality a little bit? Or do you think from the jump he was trolling Tank, Devin, and Pacquiao?
He definitely got sat on his ass, and you know, my heart dropped for the whole Garcia family and the team. It wasn't something that I wanted to see. I wanted to see him win and look impressive and make the fight happen. That's what we went to Dallas, Texas to do, was to potentially promote the next fight, which would have been Devin and Ryan. But after he got up off his ass and then stopped Luke Campbell, he started yelling, "Tank, Tank, Tank, Tank," all right, in the audience. And then he had his fans saying, "Tank, Tank, Tank." And then they didn't even make the fight. So
I do want to ask you, who did Luke Campbell beat? Not fought. Who did Luke Campbell beat? Can you name anybody off top of the dome, or you could use BoxRec?
let me see, because you know.
Yeah, name me one name fighter that everybody knows that Luke actually beat. I really want to know, because Ryan keep bragging about his resume, so I'm trying to figure out who have he fought.
Luke Campbell down there at number 21, right? That's him?
Yes, sir.
Down there at 21, right there? Okay, let's see. He sure did. So when you talk about that, right? When Ryan fought him, he had a bunch of losses, right? So you take a look at him. He's never fought nobody that's undefeated. They never took a chance with him. When it came time to stepping up against somebody real that hadn't lost, he never stepped up to that. Luke Campbell. So how do you say such a great fighter that he was? Or we should say, how many great opportunities did he have and he lost, right? So he fought a good fighter that had a lot of opportunities that lost all of them.
Yeah, and according to Ryan, Luke is notoriously known for losing. This is what Ryan said.
Well, that's what Teofimo Sr. said as well, though, right? They said it as well. So you can look that up. Teofimo Sr. said it. Teofimo Jr. said it. Ryan said it. And then you come back and try to get all these props and stuff for that. But when it comes down to it, Devin is the highest ranked fighter that was available. And he will be the highest ranked fighter as soon as we take care of this business with Jorge Linares.
And not to mention, Linares beat Luke Campbell, who Ryan keep bragging about defeating. And didn't Luke turn down Devin Haney fight on more than one occasion?
Multiple times.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's what he's doing. He's disrespecting boxing. He's disrespecting the championship, what it means to be a champion, how you become a champion. If you take a look at this, pull this up for me. Let's see. Okay, this is Lennox Lewis. In his first 3 years as a professional, Lennox was several regional heavyweight champions, including the European, British, Commonwealth titles. After winning his first 21 fights, he defeated Donovan Ruddock in 1992 to take over the #1 position in the WBC rankings. He was declared WBC heavyweight champion that year after Riddick Bowe gave up the title to avoid defending it against Lewis. He defended the title 3 times before an upset knockout to Oliver McCall in 1994. Lewis avenged the loss in a 1997 rematch to win back the vacant WBC title. So the key is this: Lennox Lewis held several titles, the European, the British Commonwealth titles. He held all those, just like Devin held the WBC youth title, the international title, the silver title, right, and the interim title, right? After winning his first 21 fights, he defeated Donovan Ruddock in 1992 to take over the #1 position in the WBC rankings, just like Devin became the #1. He was declared WBC heavyweight champion later that year after Riddick Bowe gave up the title to avoid defending it against Lewis. He defended the title 3 times, just like Devin is on his 3rd title defense right now against Jorge Linares. He defended against Alfredo Santiago and also defended it against Gamboa, right? So before an upset knockout loss to Oliver McCall in 1994, Lewis avenged the loss in a 1997 rematch to win back the vacant title. So that'll show you. And that was the very first time a heavyweight champion, a British heavyweight, became world champion in the 20th century, was by the same merits.
Lennox Lewis won the title the same way Devin Haney did, because Riddick Bowe refused to fight the mandatory Lennox Lewis, just like Lomachenko refused to fight his mandatory Devin Haney.
Lomachenko vacated the WBC title, right, the same way he did.
That you and Devin is a super fight. It sells out the Staples Center. You make a fortune. But as I've said in every interview, if you get Tank or you get Pacquiao, I can't argue. If you don't, I think you should consider Devin Haney, personally, because I think it's a massive fight for massive money, and if you believe you can win...
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but then you should take the fight. If you don't get those other fights. But I respect you for chasing...
But if I do get it?
Oh, I respect you. And I say 100% that was the right move for you. But if you don't, I would like you to consider Devin Haney.
Okay, I will.
I got Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney, I mean, you see with Nakatani, Lopez had a little bit of trouble with that right hand over the top. I think Devin's even a little bit more craftier, obviously more craftier than Nakatani. I think Devin beats Teofimo. I think Teofimo has a great fight with Tank, but I still feel Tank beats him. I feel Devin beats Tank, and I beat Tank. I beat everybody.
Toughest challenge would be, I think, against Devin Haney.
On all the top lightweights, he makes the less money. You have the most followers, the most everything, but you make the less money. How does that make sense? How are you the money guy? He doesn't have a belt, and he makes the less money. They want to fight you. People want to fight him. With no disrespect, I like Ryan. Me and Ryan, we got a lot of history together, and I like him. But they want to fight you because they feel like you have followers, and you are the weakest link. That's what they feel. I'm not saying that it's true. We don't know who the weakest link is. We got to see. Everybody has to fight each other. But in reality, let's be real. Like, everybody needs to stop sugarcoating it, and let's be real. People want to fight him because they feel like he's the weakest link. Everybody wants to fight him because they feel like he has followers and he's the easiest fight. Let's be real. It's like a hidden secret, but nobody's trying to say it. It's the truth. That is the truth. That is why everybody wants to fight him.
I did not choose him. He requested. Canelo requested. So we sent out a vote and we analyzed his history.
Ooh, Canelo and Lomachenko requested?
Absolutely.
Ooh, you just made headlines.
Lomachenko.
You just made headlines.
Lomachenko, top rank, requested. And let me tell you, we analyzed the request. Top of the top.
Define the franchise belt. Can you define it?
The franchise is not a belt. It's not a championship. It's a designation given to elite, unique fighters who carry the industry of the sport of boxing. Canelo Alvarez and Lomachenko are two sensational fighters who carry the industry.